Hello everyone and welcome to Pendulum EDU, and in this vocabulary session I am here to discuss a few words with you pertaining to a particular section from vocabulary. Like we have been discussing an article based on political issues, on economic issues, on social issues. We've done a bit on socio-economic. So today the article is pertaining to the political background, and the article heads as down but not out on Islamic State. Now, something that is though gone in the lower position or lower state, but it is not yet out, which means it is not yet shut. Right? The thing has not, or I would say the situation or the issue has not come to an end. It is not yet out. Now, this is related to Islamic State, and now there are two, I would say, okay, I'm not going to describe it as of now, but we'll come to know once we go through the article. So, how this status has been discussed in the article, we would come to know. Political instability in parts of West Asia and North Africa is allowing the IS space to operate. Now, there is some sort of instability. Instability is noun, which means there is the relations or the internal system is a bit unstable here when it comes to the political status of West Asia and North Africa, and taking advantage of this, IS has started or has built its space to operate, to work accordingly. The UN counter-terrorism. Now, counter-terrorism is a noun which means ways or methods opted or adopted, or you can say adapted to work against or controlling terrorism. Okay? Basically, in Hindi we say Pratirodh. Terrorism is, we all know, Atankvad. So when we try to control the terrorist activities, or we try to take a toll on terrorism, these activities are termed as counter-terrorism. So UN has opted it. The UN counter-terrorism chief's statement to the Security Council on continuing presence of Islamic State terrorists in West Asia, Africa and elsewhere should be seen as a serious warning by the countries in these two regions. Now, they say that presence of IS terrorists in these two countries, that is West Asia and Africa, has to be taken as something that is intense, something that is of grim, and it is of concern. It is of serious concern, and we have to take it into consideration. Now, 2 years after Sunni jihadist group was declared defeated, more than 10,000 IS fighters remain active in Iraq and Syria. Now, this is an instance quoted. This is I would say an example quoted, that if we talk about at present moment, it is 2 years after that we see that once the Sunni jihadist group was being declared, or it was nullified, उसको ख़त्म करके, like उसको ऐसा defeated बताया गया था, that it has come to an end. More than 10,000 IS fighters remain active in Iraq and Syria, said Vladimir Voronkov. Now, if he is telling that there are 10,000 active these IS terrorists, or you can, they are termed IS fighters, in Iraq and Syria, then how can we say that they were all defeated? They were all put to an end, or probably this is a sort of revenge. IS-driven terror attacks are on the rise. Besides these two countries where IS had established a proto-state in 2014. Now, proto-state is a noun, and a state which is not autonomous, which is not completely autonomous. I will just wipe off the screen and write it. So, proto-state is a noun, and it is a state established that is not completely autonomous. Okay, It is not completely independent. So that is a proto-state. And IS established a proto-state for itself in 2014, destroyed by multilateral war efforts. Multilateral is an adjective. It means combined or clubbed effort of 3 or more countries or nations. ठीक है, जब सब मिलकर अटैक कर रहे हैं, that for example, an effort has been made by 3 or more parties together or 3 or more governments together. So if I'm talking countries, I'm quoting governments, okay? उसको हम multilateral effort कहते हैं. So multilateral war efforts that lasted 4 years. The terror outfit has a province in West Africa with nearly 3,000 fighters, according to the UN. Still, like IS since had a proto-state that was destroyed by the multilateral effort, but now also if you see, this program lasted for 4 years, but as of now also UN has reported that there are nearly 3,000 fighters that we can notice in the province, one province in West Africa. In war-torn Afghanistan, it continues to stage attacks targeting ethnic and religious minorities. The IS may no longer control any big city, but its rise from a breakaway faction of Al-Qaeda in Iraq to one of the world's most patent terrorist groups should be a lesson for all stakeholders. Now, it says that though if I talk about Afghanistan also, they have been constantly attacking the religious minorities, and it has also stated that though IS is not having major control on any big city as of now, but the rise from a breakaway faction. Now, faction is a noun. Faction means a group coming from another group. So here the big group is Al-Qaeda, and from that a faction that is, it had come up, that is IS, okay? So this faction is, but it's rise from a breakaway faction of Al-Qaeda. So it has suddenly risen up as a breakaway faction. मतलब टूटकर अलग होके एक अलग से हिस्सा बन गया, and that has come up. तो faction एक तरीके का एक गुट होता है, ठीक है, एक तरीके का एक टुकड़ा जो अलग हो जाता है, फिर वो अलग से ग्रुप बन जाता है, that is faction. So they say कि वो if they are operating in Iraq, they have come out to be one of the world's most patent. Patent is an adjective which means powerful. वो बहुत ही ताकतवर. Like they have come up as strong. Patent terrorist groups should be a lesson for all the stakeholders. Now this has to be taken into notice that if one such breakaway faction has come up, which has turned out to be the powerful or the most patent terrorist groups that is active as of now, so it has to be taken as a lesson and a warning like simultaneously. Further, it is said, ever since they lost territories, IS fighters withdrew from the front lines and started operating in cells in the deserts, mountains, and hinterlands of conflict-ridden countries. Now, hinterland, these are the backward areas or the remote areas of any place. So, this is a noun, जिसको हम कहते हैं ना, remote areas like the border, on the borders, outskirts, or you can say जो बाहरी इलाके होते हैं. Alright, so it's a noun. So this sums up that the moment they lost their territories after the multilateral war efforts, or you can say the rigorous efforts by the navies and the armies to just shun them off, IS fighters they took a step back and they stopped playing, or they stopped operating from the front line, but they went and they started operating in various hinterlands, that is, as I said, the remote areas or maybe the deserts and mountains. And these were the main focus was on conflict-ridden countries wherein there was serious chaos, okay? There were people who, or the countries that were politically unstable, like that of, as of we have come West Africa, and we're talking about West Asia and Africa, okay? So they targeted these. Iraq and Syria are particularly vulnerable. These are adjective. If I talk vulnerable, which means they are weak, they are susceptible, like they are very naive, they are easily influenceable, so they are बहुत ही कमज़ोर देश हैं आप कह सकते हैं, to the IS's resurgence as these countries are yet to be fully stabilized after the wars. Now they are particularly vulnerable. They are, as I said, they are so weak that they could be easily influenced or taken advantage of. To what? The advantage. Who's taking the advantage? IS's resurgence. Resurgence is noun, which means it's revival. Uska punarjeevan. Right? Something that is coming back to life. So the moment they have lost their territories, now they have started operating, and they're trying to build up their territories now back again. So this is the resurgence, and they have chosen Iraq and Syria to be the base, to set the base or to lay the foundation right there. In Syria, the Bashar al-Assad government has practically won the civil war, but Syria is now a divided country. While the government controls most of the territories, a coalition of jihadists and rebels is running the Idlib province. Now, a coalition, that means a collaboration. They have come together and they're working together. So in Syria, jihadists and rebels, they have come together in the Idlib province and they are operating there. So Syria is more vulnerable if we compare Iraq and Syria. Now further it says, in the northeast, the Kurdish rebels have declared autonomy. On the Syrian-Turkish border, Turkey, backed by pro-Turkish rebels, has carved out a buffer and has been in permanent conflicts with the Kurds. Now on the Syrian-Turkish border, Turkey, backed by pro-Turkish rebels, backed by, that is supported by. It's a phrase. You can say it's a phrasal verb. So it is supported by pro-Turkish rebels and it has carved out a buffer, like a halt, एक paused आ चुका है, and वो एक permanent conflict में आ गए हैं कर्ड्स के साथ. तो अभी आप देखो, हम कह रहे हैं कि नॉर्थ ईस्ट में कर्दिश रिबेल्स हैव डिक्लेयर्ड ऑटोनॉमी, और जब उन्होंने ऑटोनॉमी डिक्लेयर करा, एट द मोमेंट ऑन दिस सीरियन टर्किश बॉर्डर, now Turkey has come up in a permanent conflict. They are now in, I would say, in bitter terms or bitter relations with the Kurds. Though there is an uneasy quiet in Syria, the situation is inflammable. Like, you never know what would happen. Iraq, after months of protests and instability, has finally got a government. But Prime Minister Mustafa al-Kadhimi is torn between the US and Iran. So Iraq is also not in a better state. There are other political fuss, or you can say chaos, that are going on, running at present. Or you can say the status quo, that is, the current state of affairs, the present state of affairs of the nation are not well off. Pro-Iran Shia militias continue to target US troops inside Iraq, which could turn the country into a battlefield between Washington and Tehran. So Washington and Tehran, the capital states we're talking about. Now they say that the pro-Iran Shia militants who are rigorously and continuously targeting US militants or US troops, this could at the end lead to a serious battlefield, or this could lead to a serious war or tug between these two nations, and that possibly should be avoided. But if in case this comes up, it would be a serious disaster for Iran, like more for Iran and less for US, though like loss would be for the both countries. Further, it has been said the story is not very different in Africa. Libya has two governments which were fighting each other till last week's ceasefire. Now, the Libyan conflict has spilled over into Mali and Burkina Faso. So it says the Libyan conflict has spilled over into Mali and Burkina Faso, where jihadists have established a solid preference. Spill over is a phrasal verb. Okay, which means to get into parts or reaching a point where things are beyond control. एक ऐसे पॉइंट पर पहुंच जाना जहाँ पर चीज़ें आपके हाथ से निकल जाती हैं. सो द कॉन्फ्लिक्ट हैज़ स्पिल्ड ओवर. वो बहुत ऐसा पॉइंट पर पहुंच चुका है विच इज़ बियॉन्ड द कंट्रोल. एंड दिस इज़ इन टू माली एंड बुर्किना फासो वेयर जिहाद एस्टैब्लिश अ सॉलिड प्रेफरेंस. और वहाँ पर आप अब उस पर कंट्रोल नहीं ले पा रहे हैं. एंड इट्स अ मैटर ऑफ ग्रेव concern. Chaos breeds militancy. Now, the moment there's chaos, it breeds militancy. Militancy is now, we term militancy as the various activities by the troops or the army, okay, to take charge and to control something that is going wrong. So there have been chaos, and this chaos has led to militancy, wherein various activities or various ways and methods have been opted to support the political and social cause. ये भी एक तरीके का आप कह सकते हो, एक तरीके से आप उस चीज़ को आप अपनी गवर्नमेंट का जो पॉइंट है उस चीज़ को सपोर्ट करना चाहते हो बिकॉज ऑफ द chaos being created by the IS fighter. So we are going to support it through militancy. And as the main group here is the IS, it would remain active as long as these countries remain unstable. The IS had its roots in the US invasion of Iraq. It started growing by exploiting the civil war in Syria. So this is telling the step-by-step procedure. The regional governments as well as the international backers should be mindful of this fact. If they fail to address the regional fault lines, the fault lines are a difference of opinion that may lead to grave consequences. To fight each other, the jihadists could emerge winners once again if this is possible. अगर regional fault lines को इन chaos को आपसी मत को नहीं सुलझाया गया तो ये बहुत ही मुश्किल घड़ी में डाल देगा और जिहादिस्ट वापस से जीत जाएंगे. सो जो इंटरनेशनल बैकर्स हैं, जो रीजनल गवर्नमेंट्स हैं, अगर इराक, ईरान में या फिर वेस्ट एशियन, अफ्रीका में, अगर वो अभी इसको सीरियसली नहीं लेंगे, अगर इसके साथ स्टेप्स नहीं उठाएंगे, देन इट विल बिकम रियली serious for them and it would be extremely harmful and catastrophic for them. So this was the political issue article that I had to discuss with you guys today, and the words that we've discussed are pertaining to the points right here. This hinterlands and pro-Turkish or proto-state, which is something that is not completely autonomous, जिसको हम कहते हैं आधिराज in Hindi. Okay, so all of these have been discussed with you, and for today I want to focus on this phrase or noun, that is fault line. It is a noun which is basically a difference of opinion. This difference of opinion that may lead to serious consequences. Okay, that is fault line. So these were the words for today, and this was the article for today. I shall see you soon in the next session with another article to discuss and to work on the words. If you have any doubt, or अगर आप चाहते हैं हमसे अपने doubts को share करना, you can write to us. You can give us a comment as well. Do not forget to hit the like button to the video to keep us motivated, and subscribe the channel for regular sessions with us. Thank you so much.